Pari Sabety is going to join me in a little bit. Pari, of course, is OEM director. We have some slides that we're going to go through for you up here on the screen, and hopefully everybody has a paper copy of all the materials that we will have on the screen, as well as a one-page press release that you should all have or should have received when you came in. Okay? And if I do anything wrong, John Colstrand, my communications director, is going to tell me, right, John? Okay. Let me just talk a little bit about what's in that press release first before I do the slides. The press release is titled Income Tax Revenue Fell Short in April. And basically it says that income tax revenue into the state's general revenue fund fell $322 million short of projections during the month of April. We've been watching April revenue very carefully because of the importance of April in determining total income tax receipts for the fiscal year 2009, the year that we are currently in. The annual tax returns for tax year 2008 and also the first quarterly estimated payments for tax year 2009 were both due in April. So April is a very important month in the state's revenue picture, and that kind of explains why. The results for April were disappointing. For the month, net income tax revenue into the state's general fund was $1,129 million, or 22% short of the projections for the month. And let me give you the details on that by explaining this table that's up on the screen. These are the components, the pieces of state income tax collections for the month of April. And to make it a little simpler, we rounded everything to the nearest $1 million. If anybody wants to know the details with more digits, I suppose we can get them for you. But what you see on the bottom line here, the bottom line is titled Net to General Revenue Fund. You see the estimate for the month for income tax revenues was $1,451 million. The next column, the actual, was $1,129,000. And the difference, which shows in red because it's a minus, is $322 million, or 22% shortfall. And then when you look at the 5 lines above that, you see the components. The biggest piece is that very first line, of course, the annual returns that are, of course, due by April the 15th. So those are the 2008 state income tax returns, which must be filed by taxpayers no later than April 15th, 2009. And the dollars that were remitted with those returns were $700 million, and we had expected $892 million, and you see that we are short in that category by $192 million. The next line is refunds. Refunds, of course, are a payout from state government. So we expect them to be a minus, and so you see red across there. We expected to pay $262 million of refunds in April. We actually paid more refunds than that. We paid $293 million. And so the difference, again, shows up as a minus. It's a minus $31 million. It's down 12% from the refunds we expected. The next 2 lines do not represent 2008 taxes. They represent 2009 taxes, the year that we're in now. It started in January. The first line of 2009 is withholding. Those are the amounts that employers withhold from their employees' paychecks for state income tax and remit to the state. Those are big numbers too. And we expected $626 million of income tax withholding to be remitted in April. We received less, 14 million less, 2% less. The next line is estimated payments. Those are the payments where an individual for 2009 has non-wage income, income on which there hasn't been withholding, in which they make quarterly estimated payments, stock and bond income, that type of thing. And we had estimated $207 million in April for the estimated payments. The state received $142 million, that's a shortfall of $65 million, or 31%. The last category, the percentage looks big, but the dollars are small. We've got about 4 different categories that we show here in a simplified way for you as others, so you have all the details. But those are the components, so you have all the details of how April revenues came in, estimates compared to actuals by component.